Hi friends, this is Miss Montez. I hope everyone had a really great and relaxing 3-day weekend. I'm excited to get back into writing today, so make sure you're ready with your writing notebook, a pencil, a highlighter, your rainbow pen, and anything else you'll need to take notes on our different types of topic sentences. Now, as we know from our sim packet work that we've been doing, a topic sentence is that first one or even two sentences in a paragraph that are really going to inform us about what the rest of our paragraph is about. Now, we've mostly been seeing and talking about topic sentences that are called cluing or general or specific, but today we're actually going to look at even more types of topic sentences. Now, let's start with our definitions. So, of course, our first three are the ones you'll know. So, number one, we have cluing. Number two, we have general. And number three, we have specific. Now, I have them all attached by arrows here since general and specific topic sentences are types of cluing topic sentences, as we've been speaking about over the past few weeks. Now, the definition of a cluing topic sentence is that it clues the reader into what the paragraph's topic is about. So, for example, if we're about to read a paragraph describing someone's 3-day weekend, what they did, our cluing topic sentence is going to give us a clue that that's what our paragraph is about. Now, we'll go into a specific example of this a bit later. Number two is general. The definition is that general topic sentences give the reader broad insight into the coming details. Now, opposite from specific, broad insight means it's kind of general, it's not super specific or detailed, it's just a sort of half clue about what's going to come up. Now, kind of the opposite, our specific topic sentence gives an exact detail or gives exact details about what will be coming up in our paragraph in that first sentence. Now, moving on, over here we have a double topic sentence. Now, the title of this type of topic sentence is exactly what it sounds like. Double, we know, means two, so we can assume or infer that a double topic sentence are two topic sentences actually that serve the same function. Now, number 5, I know I kind of jumped ahead and explained what double was, but 5 we have question, 6 we have quote, and 7 we have fact. Now, I'm sure you could kind of guess the definitions, but let's go through them together. Now, as I said before, because I was so excited to talk about it, our double is two topic sentences, one right after the other. Kind of like this definition has two sentences, your double topic sentences will look the same. Next up, we have question. Now, as you could probably guess, a question topic sentence is a topic sentence that starts with a related question in order to engage the reader. So your question is related to what the paragraph will be about, but it's a good way of drawing the reader in. 6, we have quote, and a quote is just a quote that's engaging and also related to the topic. Now, these kinds of things, you might have heard of them as a hook before because they're trying to hook your reader in and really make them want to read what the rest of your paragraph or your essay is about. 7, we have fact. Now, it's also interesting like a hook because an interesting fact must be related to the topic and it's also used to engage the reader. Now, moving on, we have number 8, onomatopoeia. That's a hard word to spell and pronounce. Now, you've probably heard of onomatopoeia. We'll talk about that a little bit later. 9, we have descriptive. And 10, last but not least, we have personal. Now, the definition of an onomatopoeia topic sentence. Now, just like onomatopoeia, we might know our sound words. We talk about this a lot when we're talking about literary devices or poetry. So there's sound words that are used to interest the reader. The onomatopoeia is related to the topic. So, for example, if your paragraph is about, like we said before, what you did over the weekend, you want to make sure your onomatopoeia makes sense. Like maybe that wouldn't start with boo or something if you didn't have a spooky weekend. You want to make sure that it makes sense. So number 9, descriptive, means to use imagery to describe a setting in order to engage the reader in the topic. Now, descriptive, we can think of imagery or the ways that we can describe our setting using our 5 senses and things like that to really set the scene and draw the reader into what they're about to read about. Now, 10, we have personal. Now, personal relates to the topic with a personal experience. So if you're going to be talking again like your 3-day weekend, you could talk about your personal experience to draw the reader in, or you can describe something from when you were younger or that's happened to you or something like that. Again, these are all kind of like a hook, aren't they? They're really, the point of them is to interest the reader and also briefly introduce the topic that they'll be reading about. Now, friends, moving on, we're actually going to read this really fun article about history of Halloween. Whether you celebrate Halloween or not, I think it's pretty fun to learn about where it came from, right? So go ahead and take a moment to read this. You can pause this video and read, or you can keep staying with me. I'm going to read through it, and then we're going to head back to our topic sentences after that. So if you don't want to read with me, go ahead and pause and try to skip through until you can see the next slide on your thumbnail, probably a few minutes. But for my friends who are reading with me, make sure you have this out and let's read together. History of Halloween by Amanda Rogers. The pumpkins are carved, the costumes are prepared, and there's a big bowl of candy waiting by the door. If it lasts until October 31st, that is. Halloween is lurking in the wings, ready to swoop down for another night of trick-or-treating. Haunted houses and frights for all. But where did these annual rituals come from? Read on to find out. How did Halloween start? About 2,000 years ago, the Celts described the end of the year on October 31st. Their new year started the next day. Before that one night, the Celts believed that the line between the living and the dead blurred and that people who were dead could come back to walk on earth. The Celts, who lived in Ireland, the United Kingdom, and northern France, celebrated with bonfires and wore costumes for the festival called Samhain. Pronounced Samhain or Zaun, rhymes with cloud. In AD 43, the Celts were overrun by the Romans, who ruled during the next 400 years and combined two of their fall festivals with Samhain. In late October, the Romans remembered their dead on Feralia and then honored Pomona, the Roman goddess of fruit and trees. Supposedly, this is why we bob for apples on Halloween. Why is it called Halloween? By the 1800s, Christianity had appeared in the area, and Pope Boniface IV wanted to replace the pagan festivals with Christian holidays. But it didn't work exactly the way he expected. The Catholic Church decided to honor All Saints on November 1st, and later named November 2nd All Souls' Day to remember the dead. All Saints' Day was called All Hallows, so the night before was October 31st. Was All Hallows' Eve, which was celebrated with bonfires and costumes. Why do people hand out treats? The Celts and their descendants left food in front of their homes because they believed the dead would eat and then not need to come inside the house. The church tried to change this by encouraging people to hand out food to the poor on All Souls' Day. In exchange for soul cakes, the poor promised to pray for the dead relatives of the people who gave them the cakes. Soon, children were dressing up and begging for cakes too. By the 1920s, the children in America began trick-or-treating as a harmless way of involving everyone in town in the holiday. Back then, tricks like turning over outhouses and soaping the windows were widespread, especially if a house wasn't giving out treats. How come the United States of America celebrates? The people in colonial America immigrated from Europe and brought their costumes with them. These were combined with some of the American Indians. Scary pagan rituals were discouraged, and the holiday became sort of a fall festival to celebrate the harvest. There were ghost stories and mischief, too. Why do people wear costumes? The Celts and later the Europeans, believing that the spirits walked on Earth on October 31st, wore masks after dark so that if they should run into a ghost, the spirits would think the wanderer was one of their own and try not to possess the body. What's up with the jack-o'-lantern? An Irish legend tells the tale of Stingy Jack, who played tricks on the devil. When Jack got to heaven, he wasn't welcome. He wasn't welcome by the devil either. So Jack had to wander the earth forever. Because he couldn't see in the dark, he carved out a turnip or potato and put in a lump of coal he stole from the devil. When the Irish people immigrated to America, they brought the legend and the tradition of the carved potatoes and turnips with them. Pumpkins were easier to carve, and there were a lot of them in America. So they soon took the place of the turnips and potatoes. That's a super interesting article, isn't it? So now for those of us that are celebrating Halloween this October 31st, now we'll know a little bit more of the history. Now let's head back to our topic sentences, and we're actually going to make a few examples of our own based on this article that we just read together. Okay, everyone, welcome back to those of you who just read on your own. Now we're going to head into a few examples of our 10 types of topic sentences that we just spoke about. So, of course, first we have cluing. Now, if I'm making a paragraph based on the information that I learned from the History of Halloween article, I'm going to need a really good topic sentence to introduce the fact that I'm going to be talking about the history of Halloween based on what I just read. So an example of a topic sentence or a cluing topic sentence that is based off of the article as if I'm writing my own would be, the history of Halloween is very interesting. Now, if you can tell, based on the definition of cluing topic sentence, this is giving some insight or an idea as to what the rest of the details of my paragraph will be about. So, for example, the history of Halloween. Now for general, remember this is going to be a pretty broad and not specific way of giving insight to the details in our paragraph to come. My example is, the article provided a lot of information about the history of Halloween. You see how that's pretty general? I just say a lot of information. I don't give any specific details as to what information or the different kinds of topics of information from the article. Now on the other hand, specific, I wrote, people now wear costumes on Halloween to be scary, have fun, or go trick-or-treating. Now here you can see I have a list of different reasons why people go trick-or-treating now, which is about the article because in the article we learned about why it started. So now my topic sentence will talk about what it is now. Now friends, while I'm doing this, try and see if you could come up with some of your own topic sentences. There's a Google form where I would like for you to try your best to make your own, but feel free to keep pausing this video and write your own topic sentence based on the article that are specific to these new definitions that we're talking about. Now for double, my example is, the history of Halloween is very interesting, period. Many Americans might not know its origin. Now, as you can tell, this is a topic sentence, or, well, two topic sentences, because I have one sentence here, and then I have another sentence here, all telling about what my paragraph regarding the history of Halloween will be about. Now, question. This one's fun. The question topic sentence I came up with says, did you know that Halloween started with the Celts? Now, as we learned in the article, that's how Halloween started. So if I was going to write my own paragraph recapping what I read in the history of Halloween, this might be my question since it's interesting and related. Quote, when witches go riding and black cats are seen, the moon laughs and whispers, 'tis near Halloween. Now this is a quote that I researched, and make sure that you're crediting who you got it from. Now here this quote is unknown, which is why I wrote that in my parentheses here. Now, if you notice, this quote is related to my topic of Halloween, and it's very interesting. It makes the person want to keep reading. Now, for fact, my example is, the Celts believed that spirits walked the earth on Halloween day. Now, if you remember from the article, The History of Halloween, I got this fact from there. So it's a nice little fun fact that I can give my audience that's about to read to interest them on the rest of what I'm going to talk about. So here, if I'm talking about that the Celts believe the spirits walked the earth on Halloween day, we can assume or infer that the rest of my paragraph will be about that topic. All right, friends, next we have onomatopoeia. This one is one of my favorites because it's so fun. Now, can you guess my sound word that I'm using here for onomatopoeia related to Halloween? Boo! I had to do it. Well, I said boo. Halloween season is upon us once again. Now, as you can see here, we use onomatopoeia to interest the reader, and it's related. And then I gave another sentence, kind of like a double. I said Halloween season is upon us once again. Again, this is all related to my main topic, which is Halloween or the history of Halloween. Alrighty, friends, two more. I hope you're understanding and doing well, and keep trying your best to write your own examples too. All right, my example of descriptive is, there are pumpkins on porches and children trick-or-treating in costumes. You see how this kind of sets the scene If you close your eyes and you think about this sentence, you can probably envision what it looks like to have pumpkins on porches, or even see children trick-or-treating. Or maybe you're even envisioning you in a costume if you celebrate Halloween or you've ever done that before. So this kind of descriptive sentence is really interesting to the reader, and it's also related to the topic. Remember, that's such a key. We always want it to make sense and relate to the topic. Alrighty, last one's, my friends, personal. Now here you'll learn a little bit about me here, because my personal example is, when I was 13 years old, I was a wolf for Halloween. Now friends, that is a true story. I was actually a wolf for Halloween when I was 13 years old. Now, this personal sentence here, as you can see, it's related to my topic because it's about what I dressed up for as Halloween, and it's personal because I'm talking about me here, which might be interesting to the reader. Alrighty, friends, well, you all did such a good job here. Thank you all for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and let us know, and make sure you get that Google form done so we can see some of your examples. Always try your best and have fun, friends. Oh, and remember, when you're writing your examples, also make it about the history of Halloween, okay? I can't wait to talk to you all soon. Have a good day.